Consider it a recurring theme. There are teams in the Big 12 that can compete for the conference championship, and none other than the Baylor Bears, who finished the season a year ago, 6 consecutive wins, 6-3 in conference, 8-5 overall. Sawyer Robertson returning at quarterback. But I know Dave Aranda, head coach, is going to love this next statement. The Baylor Bears are loaded on defense. And while the eye candy is the offense, I'll tell you what, you're going to have to contend with them in Waco with a stout defense. As Dave Aranda kind enough to join us here on our set. And Coach, welcome back. Welcome in. New season for you. Big picture coming into the season, through the offseason till now. How do you feel your team stacks up?
We're a hungry team, and we're a hard-working team, and we're a talented team. This is the most depth we've had at Baylor since I've been at Baylor. And so really feel good about kind of where the team is at. You know, we're trying to be consistent with our daily actions and how we're doing things. Are we finishing through lines? Are we always on time? And all those things that are little things that end up being big things once they keep a score of a game. We're focusing on that right now.
Year 6 for you out there in Baylor, and I know each year stands on its own, but I have to believe the 6-game winning streak down the stretch that put you guys in contention for the Big 12 last year had to carry some momentum into the offseason and embarking on this new year.
I think the majority of the team knew that we had a good team last year. And we as coaches would tell them that, and I think they would hear that maybe from their parents or from a teammate. But for them to see it themselves and to see the TCU win and to see these other wins, the win versus Texas Tech, I think there's such value that comes from that. There's a grounded confidence that the team has now, which is a good thing.
Well, it's amazing. You really think about it too. You're a Hail Mary away from being in the championship game. You know what I mean? And then it's like it's just crazy how wide how thin the margins are now. But offensively, with Spavital back.
Yes.
First of all, I think he's amazing. I love the guy. I loved him for years. I think he does a phenomenal job. But him along with Sawyer Robertson, the comfort level and being able to kind of communicate without communicating.
Yes.
How much more comfortable is Spav this year working with him, and how much more comfortable is Sawyer working with Spav?
So much so. That what you hit on is probably the biggest improvement offensively, is that in the pre-snap, it's just very hard. If we're disguising a single high, like we're not going to be able to get to do that. They're going to see it with a hard count or a leverage, and the ball's going to go where it should go. And so I think they're so far ahead of that. And then I think they have the skill players where, hey, the ball's out quick, and here's someone that can do something with it. I think that only complements it. So it's very strong offensively.
I want to continue visiting about that quarterback, Sawyer Robertson, that we're looking at right there. A lot of people don't remember, but he didn't win the starting job coming out of fall camp last year, but he eventually took that starting role over and had a phenomenal year. You see the stats on the screen. How much has it meant to your ball club to know that he is the guy? He's had a full offseason. What have you seen out of Sawyer?
Grounded confidence. I think that was the thing that he's been working on from the very beginning, is that you are that guy, that you're that guy for us. You've always been that guy. And I think, leading from the middle of the pack last year to where now he's leading way out in front, which for him is an uncomfortable spot to be, for him to be way out in front and being holding guys accountable and leading the tempo and leading the pace has been way strong for our team.
What does it take? I mean, I'm just looking at the coaches we talked to today. Kansas State, Manhattan, Kansas, Texas Tech, Lubbock, Texas, Waco, Texas, Ames, Iowa. These are quintessential college towns, kind of outpost in an area where you've got to find guys that want to be there and believe that they can be there and win. What does it take at Baylor for you to get that type of mentality?
It takes relationships. It takes spending time with recruits and families and investing. It takes hey, we're going to be focused on high school recruiting, and we're going to spend time with that. It's so easy to be in the transfer portal business, and here's a bunch of money, and here's 1 year, and you're gone.
Yeah.
But to develop people, you don't hear so much about that now. You hear about acquiring talent as opposed to developing the talent.
Is that where you are?
Yes.
Are you a 75-25 high school to portal?
We want to be that way next year. I think from the mistakes and things that I've made in the past, we had to be able to get a little bit more portal than we would like.
Sure.
But I think we're in a position now where it's going to be mainly high school.
Looking at some of the additions you made defensively, not just on personnel, but some of your coaches, a couple new faces on that side of the ball with you. No one's going to deny you're probably one of the smartest defensive minds in the entire game. Now you have a head coach hat. You still manage so much defensively. How do you balance that as a head coach? And how do you make sure that, all right, hey, I hired some new pieces, I want them to do what we do, but also bring some new perspective, some new vision to that side of the ball?
The first couple months are going to be, hey, here's things that you really believe in. Here's things that you like. Let's have a day. Show me a cut up. Let's go through all of it. Teach me what you do, and let's talk it through. And a lot of those have been incorporated, And so then from there, then it becomes, hey, you're going to be responsible for this part of the defense. You're responsible for this situation. And then being able to use your staff in terms of, I'm not having to be able to come in with everything kind of laid out. I'm counting on Matt Pallage or Paul Gonzalez to be looking at this and have this ready. And so that type of teamwork's been helpful when there's other things on your plate.
Speaking of a defensive play caller, which you took back that role last season, and I know how much that means to you, what does it mean to return a linebacker like Keaton Thomas as far as a leader and to have that nucleus of the defense and the new coaches to be able to lean on?
He is all full go all the time. There's been he was talking about how when he was in grade school, he got in trouble at his little grade school. And I asked, was it during recess time? Did this happen? Because I could see that happening. Because it's for practice. There's times where we got to shut it down and slow and kind of calm down. He's just wired so tight, and I love that as a defensive coach and on the defensive side, because he leads from that type of energy, and guys want to be like him. And so our ability to kind of attack things and get after things is totally defined and led by him.
So you got Auburn week 1. You've coached against Hugh Freeze in the past. You know what he's going to run. You know what he does. They haven't necessarily reinvented the wheel, but they do have a new quarterback, and they're probably going to have a slightly different offensive identity. How do you avoid chasing ghosts week 1, knowing that group at Auburn is going to look very different from the team that you saw last year?
There's a couple people that have played him in the past that have played him well, and so we reach out to them and kind of get ideas. There's reports and whatever information we can get from spring into summer on kind of depth chart and kind of where those things are looking. But then I think overall there's things that are kind of, regardless of the quarterback, regardless of the school, here's kind of staples. Here's things that you're thinking. And then I think you got to look, a big part of this game plan for us is going to be the things that hurt us in the past are going to be things that are going to have their full attention. So we got to be working those things too.
Who do we need to fight that made your schedule? Auburn and then the college football playoff team and SMU week 2. I mean, you've got your work cut out for you, so we'll let you get to work. Dave Aranda, so nice catching up with you. We're excited to see your team play again. We love seeing that sick 'em back in college football. Continued success to you this year.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Dave Aranda, head coach, Baylor.